Alright, so we have gone over matchups already. You should have watched the matchups video. Just wanted to go over just some general happenings in the league. Whether you care or not, I don't really know. But there were a few things that you may have noticed. Number one is, look, I don't know quite how to say this. It's not really my personal belief that Bane is a fantasy god. Unfortunately, I made an ill-advised wager on last week's game and came up on the losing end of that battle. It sucks. There's nothing worse than signing into your team with a name of Bane as a fantasy god. That pretty much is going to crush your spirits for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Not an easy thing to come back from. But a bet is a bet, and there it will stay till Tuesday morning of week 3. So there you go, Bane. Bane is a fantasy god or freaking whatever. The other big item I think throughout the league that everybody should be thinking about is we have our first trade. You know, normally in fantasy football, you don't have a lot of trades. So the first thing I'll say is kudos to Spencer and Rick. You know, both trying to improve your teams. You know, going out there and actually making a trade when usually people won't make trades. They'll just stick to the waiver wires. So the fact that they even made the trade in the first place, I think says a lot about their maturity in fantasy football after 4 or 5 years. Now the trade itself, controversial to say the least. Chris Johnson for Cedric Benson. Chris Johnson's done really crappy. Cedric Benson's been somewhat of a steady performer. I'm not sold. I think Chris Johnson is going to start to produce at least top-tier numbers somewhere between week 3 to hopefully the end of the season. But I think in the next few games you're going to start to see an increase from him. Cedric Benson, on the other hand, I don't know how consistent this guy's going to be, but I'll tell you one thing. With his week 3 matchup against the Seahawks, now we know the Seahawks, for the most part, blow. But you'll notice Cedric Benson only scored that's 1 fantasy point against San Francisco in week 1. Now, what a lot of people may not know and what they make sure to tell you in his little caption in ESPN is that Cedric Benson is playing the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have only allowed 1 additional fantasy point for running backs playing against their team than San Francisco had. That would be an average of 2 fantasy points per running backs who have played Seattle. I don't know if that's a fluke or if they just have a really good defense. In any case, I wouldn't expect a lot out of Cedric Benson. My recommendation, start Sean Green. But just because I said that, I bet you'll start Cedric Benson. Your funeral. That's really all I got for this week. So good job, everybody. Keep motivated. I love the text messages to the group. There are some people who don't enjoy being on those text message groups. So I guess be careful. Some people are at work and don't like their phone going off a billion times. But for the most part, I think most people enjoy being on those group text messages. Those are fun. So keep those going, Rick and Spencer and James and whoever else likes to be on those group texts. Finally, I'll just end with a question. Just kind of a question that I've been thinking about that I just can't really find an answer to. Thought about it when I was listening to the radio the other day. Maybe you can answer it for me. And if you do, give me a call and let me know, because it's really been burning my brain up. But we live in a really crappy economy right now. And my question is this. If every nation in the world is in debt, where did all the money go? Who has it? Something to think about. Think about it.